guys, welcome to another market analysis video. What do we got here? Well, as most of you can probably see, we have a island top right there, and we have an island bottom right here. You got two stilts, and next week's gonna be pretty crazy. If this for some reason recovers, and let's say we close up here and then gap and go, that will be something that has never happened before, which would be pretty crazy. But right now you have this Trump pop, sell back down. The gap on SPY is open to 576. We came back and tested the daily 9 that held that level, this consolidation level. So it is completely possible to go back up. I am currently playing a relief bounce, even though on the daily this shit looks like it's just getting started. Okay, now with that said, short term you have a possibility to go test these MAs and pick your spot on it, and that's what I did. I'm in the 586s for Monday. Let's see if I can get paid now on Friday, and I'm gonna show this to you. The reason I have this level 593.57, I have a take long puts alert if it starts looking like we're not getting through there. Reason being, there was a crazy amount of dark pool sold at that level. 70 prints. 70 prints, I mean, as you can see in that area, it was huge. So obviously it was OPEX too, so OPEX comes with a bag of fuckery. All of this could just be repositioning, and but we have that pre-market high. And what happened last time we had a pre-market high, as I said last week, if you don't take it in 3 to 4 days, something like that, you run the risk of it taking months. Remember, we had a pre-market high here in July. It wasn't until September that we got through that spot, and we had to go through all of this fuckery. Can we do all of this again? Well, we came you know, very close to the collar on that high, right? That high here, I mean, 602 ballpark was the high. That is close enough. So the question then becomes, we got 7 weeks left, right? Let me just make sure I'm right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 7 weeks. If you count that as top of the collar, you have 7 weeks to get all the way down to here. So when you start mapping it out, you want to get down to here. By then, let's actually use this trend line. Make that a funny color. There we go. Can you do it? Yeah, if you replicate this. What could be some catalysts? Well, and I'm gonna get the bear narrative out of the way first, then I'm gonna bull back up. Here, let me show you guys. But I'm sure you guys didn't notice yet. You have an inside week on NVIDIA. Now, supposedly SMCI is about to file with the Nasdaq today. That's bullish. So you got the biggest company in the world, according to market cap, having earnings next week. Now, just to put things into perspective. A year ago, the estimate was 16 billion. And you've seen the trend. Every earnings they beat with 2 billion. Because it's been used to pump up the market. Until last time. And that didn't work. Remember? Coincided with everything that went down. Got the same situation here. Estimate is 33 billion. I don't even know if posting 35 is gonna do it. Obviously that's a lot of money, so is the market cap. So, inside week. Now if you go back and look at inside weeks on Nvidia, they have in the past resulted, or the last 4 times, in an upside move. Last time it failed was August 23. Well, we were kind of in a bear market then, type of dealio. So very, very rare setup on Nvidia. If this stow was down here, I'd be like, oh, we're going to the moon. But we are where we are in the market. Can they start the center rally? Yep, that would be your trigger. That would be your trigger for a center rally. Can this turn into a situation that we experienced in November or late 2021, where the plan is to leave Trump with the freaking bag? Yeah. The Fed is now backpedaling so hard on their cuts and all of this. So, that is a possibility. Uncharted territories. Now, this dip here, mid-November, on the sports calendar, was that Friday sell and next week is ugly, and then Nvidia comes and saves the market. Very possible. So make sure that you keep powder dry. Okay, very, very important that you keep powder dry. Now, with that said, there's a big chance that this gets really volatile next week, especially with the VIX as well doing all of this. All right, so I marked out, I posted some stuff here because my charts are how they are. We are in a period where usually volatility gets crushed. I do like that they ended, they pushed this back down under here, but again, this fall, this level has also worked as a springboard. You currently have a gap on the VIX right there, okay? Let's not forget that. And again, on SPX here, as I showed on SPY, you have several gaps, okay? Gaps within gaps. You have that gap, you have that gap, you have this gap, and you have that gap. So essentially you have 4 gap levels. Pretty unprecedented, I have to say. Now, the Namo, pretty oversold short term. I mean, can it go further? Yeah, it can go down to here. It can do what it did. And let me put it this way. The more rapid the sell is, we're gonna get a huge rally after that. If it's gonna be some slow grind, then something's changed. Okay, and the plan is to leave Trump with the bag. But again, if it takes 7 weeks to get down to here, it takes 7 weeks. Something's changed. Monday is going to be crucial. Now, why is that? Well, if we pull an inside day, there's a chance on Tuesday we go up and it's just a Larry Williams OPEX fuckery and we're back into wave 3. If that doesn't happen, I would scratch the wave 3 idea that I posted last week and I would start keeping my eyes on this level coming down to here. I know it's a long way, but all you need is a week of panic and NBC saying markets in turmoil and that stuff, okay? Otherwise, I think back to business as usual, and definitely looking to slash that collar and start taking out these levels up here. But again, I wouldn't count on that this time around, because we've had quite the rally, even though it's been pretty crazy and volatile. As a reminder, we did start the year with that sell-off week, and that was in the 460s. As of right now, we have rejected this FOMC line and we are trading under FOMC. So until the next FOMC, this is your range here. Now you work yourself down to here into December's FOMC, and there's no cut. You come all the way back here. So there's a risk of, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 FOMC meetings of absolute bullshit and dog shit. So again, however, SPY might have looked ugly on Friday, which is kind of why I'm wondering if all of this is a rebalancing, this whole thing. The reason being, look at Tesla. Tesla on Friday was green by 3%. You have other stocks that were green as well. I mean, and they kept buying more of this. Even SMCI ended green and is just flying. Meta, however, took a huge haircut. They're not in it, and I'm almost thinking that all of this is just positioning for the next earnings, literally, because those earnings were great. But anyway, it comes down to Nvidia. There was a lot of names where that have been really pumped, that they're kind of taking profit on. Costco, for instance, just as a reminder, where Costco started the year, we were in the 600s, so it's put on a cool $300. So why not rotate a little bit? You know what I mean? Very interesting to keep an eye on the energy sector going forward, and then obviously these crypto names. You know, that Coinbase, I was positioned for a 1200% trade and got stopped out. That happens. Another thing, for instance, we SPY puking all day, but you have UPST hanging out at 68 at 145. So it's very easy to be like, oh no, the sky is falling, or this and that. There's huge rotation. I mean, the UPST, just as a reminder here for people, I mean, that is still looking to go higher, even curling here. And even last quarter, we were still in the 20s here. So it's just money moving around, okay? I know we spend a lot of time on SPY, but for instance, Apple's gone nowhere ever since Bank of Japan. It's just been hanging around here. So same thing we saw with Microsoft. Everybody was wondering what's going on earlier in the week, and then they gave it all back. So I do want to point out that QQQ entered the gap. Now, again, back to the biggest company in the stock market. It filled the Trump gap already and retook the 21. That is a very strong move, and off that trend line that I posted live on Voice that it's bounced off of, okay? So this week, all about Nvidia. I know we have a bunch of Fed speakers, and they're basically gonna set up the market to consolidate and say, we don't know about the reports and there's a huge power struggle going on, obviously, between the new administration coming in and these skeletons at the Fed, and that's the market we're dealing with. So I just want you to comprehend that. Unfortunately, flow trade didn't work all freaking weekend or week, which totally sucked. It was just, even though he was trying to fix it, it was just stuck here, SPY at 598, so I couldn't really use that. Now, big elephant in the room is still this guy that seems to be consolidating here, and you can keep cutting rates all you want, but if this thing goes up, you're kind of in deep shit, which I guess is the grand plan to then usher in the government's new favorite toy, this crap here. Which, speaking of, I mean, this thing is ripping. I know you guys have been buying it. I've held it for, I don't know, 7-8 years now. Absolutely epic, so good shit. Let's check some other stuff while we're at it here. So here you clearly see these names that are hot in this rotation. A lot of these names starting to also advertise on Twitter. And you know, yeah, it looks bad, but it was OPEX. Okay, so I'm not crying here right now, but this is concerning. So that's a level to keep an eye on. But they keep buying this strike in particular over and over and over and over again for February. So very, very, very interesting. And I mean, these are pretty big orders, so I'm definitely keeping an eye on that all of the time. I wanted to see here. So yeah, this is typical OPEX behavior. We haven't had one of these sell OPEXs in a while, but overall we still have more calls, which is very, very interesting when you look at the net flow. Closing GEX on Friday looks something like this. And I would not be surprised either if we're range bound until NVIDIA, and NVIDIA is the one that decides the next leg, if it's back up or down. There's your top flows. And you can clearly see this rotation. I mean, Tesla was bullish all day, as was Apple. Meanwhile, SPY is just draining, which was interesting because, I mean, I played JPM. I mean, at JPM, green all day. I played this move, I played that move, I played that move, and I played that move for hundreds of % of gains. So you have JPM ripping higher while they're selling tech. Meanwhile, how's that oil commodities game going? Looks pretty shit to me. This whole trend here is probably gonna make, if you remember last CPI, energy was the one that had peaked, and now they're crushing it. So the next CPI could be bullish for all we know. Okay, I know I'm going through a lot of stuff here right now, but again, just showing you guys, for instance, Shopify didn't die. Kind of looking over other names that are a little bit unusual for us to trade, and the reason being, I'm just keeping an eye on it. For instance, where was it? Here. I mean, a lot of inside day in financials, inside weeklies, same industrials, financial, real estate. Plenty of plays out there. But let's kind of take it easy the first 2 days and then start looking at them. Man, this is pumping right now. Also, I want to say that Germany's close was pretty bullish, inside daily candle with a stow crossing up, and that's if Germany rips on Monday. I think we go hard, and we should get back up to that SPY gap soon in the week. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where we land by the time it's NVIDIA's time. These obviously look pretty bad. So that's kind of my overall view on everything and what I'm looking at. I'm gonna be playing the same stuff. However, I am going to this week, just like I showed you here a second ago, I am going to be watching some weekly insides break and daily insides break, because they're always fun to play. And what else we can find on this little tool. Obviously market net tide was absolute dog shit on Friday, but they are buying TLT calls, so maybe the plan is to bring that 10-year down, which will obviously be pretty interesting. Check the calendar for next week. It's pretty dog shit if I remember correctly. Where does it start? Here. Monday, Goolsby, who's usually bullish, but let's see. We got Lagarde speaking. We gotta keep an eye on that European market for sure. Tuesday, Canadian inflation primed to come in a little hot, huh? Okay, we got building permits. I know we have Fed speakers every single day. Wednesday is Nvidia's earnings, if I'm not mistaken. We're gonna check that in a sec here. Thursday we get jobs and Philly numbers. Japanese inflation. Ooh, forecasted coming cool. I hope so. And then Lagarde speaking again, and we got Fed speakers, and we have this on Friday. So kind of a fluff week. But hold on. All right. I don't know if, well, Walmart could be interesting. Got retail this week, huh? Anyways, it pretty much comes down to this guy here. I don't even care what these two do. It's down to this, and yeah. These are always huge movers, but you kind of have to flip a coin on them. But yeah, I mean, that's a huge estimate. So until we see what this does, things are kind of gonna be up in the air. Let's just peek and see what we got the week after that, if there's anything interesting. FOMC minutes into the end of the month, huh? Okay, I know this is dragging out a little bit, but I just want to see what we got coming on, because then we have those that holiday week, the week after that. Yeah, we got this is the last full week, then we have Thanksgiving week. Okay, time for a new narrative. The week after that, FOMC minutes. Oh, we have core PCE on Wednesday, the 27th, going into the holiday. I think Friday is probably gonna be half day, and then it's December, so could be nice to pump into that. Anyways, guys, this was probably a really long one. Keeping an eye on the dollar as well, obviously, and Bitcoin, wherever you might be right there. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Oh yeah, there was one thing I wanted to show you guys, the anomaly of this contract I'm in. So they release it right there at 250, they ram it all the way up to 1480, and they come down to 1 where it bounces, currently sitting at 175, and I'm playing it by that stow. As soon as that flinched there, I took it, because this is one hell of a decay, and it has a gap here. I don't think it goes up there, obviously, but I'm thinking maybe I could get a little bit squeezed out of it. Monday's gonna be a huge day. To sum it all up, if you gap down, it's a fucking straight line all the way down to gap fill fast. Okay? If you gap up and you pull an inside day, this gap is in play early on in the week. And we have 4 early highs in a row. Friday early low. Then it's Christmas season, guys. So yeah, this year has just flown by. It's been crazy. A lot of fun. God bless, and I'll see you on Monday.
Space Shuttle Atlantis. Mission to build, resupply, and do research on the International Space Station. Atlantis begins its penultimate journey ashore on the International Space Station. Atlantis almost 2 miles in altitude, almost 6 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center already, traveling 500 miles an hour.
Welcome, I'm Mr. Moontrain, and this is the Moon Landing Trading Course. I'm coming at you from my garden in Hawaii, and first of all, I want to congratulate you on being here and doing something about your situation. Huge. Now listen up, this is not going to be a regular trading course, but that's why you're here, am I right? Today, we're going to go over the 5 areas every trader needs to master and conquer in order to become successful and profitable.